Welcome back everybody, and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be telling you guys what I've learned from the 4 years that I've been day trading. I've been day trading for 4 years and I've had many losses. I've taken many W's, and I've learned a lot just from all of my years of trading. I've tried different strategies, different systems, different risk management plans. I've tried different pairs, different markets, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be giving you guys what I have found works best for me personally in this video. And make sure you stick to the end, because I'm also going to give you guys a free gift that is going to be able to improve your trading if you want to get involved into the markets. So with that being said, let's get right on into the video. At the end of the day, you guys got to understand that there's not one system that's going to be better than the other. Every system is as good as the trader trading it is. I need you guys to understand that, and if you don't understand it, make sure to rewind the video as many times as you can until you understand. But I need you guys to understand that no matter what system you trade, no matter what strategy you trade, no matter whatever way you want to get in and out of the market, there is nothing that's going to be the holy grail. There is no secret system that make millions. There's no secret system that make a whole bunch of money. You guys got to understand, it all comes down to you. The system is going to work. If you have a system that works for somebody else, it guaranteed can work for you. It doesn't mean it's going to. Why doesn't that mean it's going to work for you if it works for someone else? Because I can have something that works for me. I could be making a whole bunch of money from it. I could be winning trades left and right. I could have a crazy win rate, maybe 80-90% win rate. But if I teach you exactly what to do, that doesn't mean you're going to make money. You may be asking why. Because you're not working. It doesn't mean the system doesn't work, but you as the trader, you as the person implementing the system, you as the person implementing the plan isn't using it correctly, isn't using it how it's meant to be traded. Your system is as good as you are. And that's the one thing I need you guys to understand. After many years of me trying different systems, strategy hopping, trying to find what is going to be the best system, what's going to make me the most money, what's going to win me the most trades, I was focusing on the wrong thing. I should have been focusing on me. I didn't focus on me for many years as a trader, and I promise you that was the biggest mistake I've ever could have made. If I would have focused on myself for the first 2-3 years instead of focusing on the best strategy, the best trend line, the best fair value gap, the best equal highs, equal lows, if I would have been not paying attention to that in the beginning and paid attention towards that towards the end, and focused on myself in the beginning, focus on having self-control, focus on building self-discipline, building patience within myself, building consistency with things outside of trading, consistency with things that I tell myself I'm going to do, consistency within habits that I have on my daily routine. You guys need to understand that a lot of it comes down to you as a person in trading. There's a lot of things that I wish I would have known now, but at the end of the day, I don't regret nothing because I learned it when I was supposed to. I didn't learn it when I wanted to. I learned it when I was supposed to. I had to take many losses. I've taken many losing trades, had many losing weeks, many losing months. I've lost $100,000 plus. And the main things that I've learned is this. First things first, stop focusing on the best strategies, the best system. Find one way of trading and build off it. Figure out yourself. What do you like to do? What environments are you best in? What sessions do you like to trade? What pairs do you like to trade? How many trades are you comfortable with taking a day? How many losses are you comfortable with taking before you go on tilt? How many wins are you comfortable with taking before you start getting greedy? These are the real questions you need to be asking yourself. These are the real things that you need to be figuring out. Not, where's the best fair value gap? Where can I enter? Where's the best entry? How can I get in with no drawdown? How can I get in with 100 lots so I can be able to make $1 million? No, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Winning trades are going to come. It's guaranteed. If you have a winning system, it's guaranteed going to happen. Losses are also guaranteed, but you got to make sure you got to make sure that you are in the position to be able to handle yourself in those drawdowns, to be able to handle yourself in those losing streaks, to be able to handle yourself in those winning streaks, because there is no good without bad. You can be on the worst losing streak, losing and losing and losing, but you can also a week later go on a crazy winning streak, winning every trade that comes and goes. You gotta know how to manage yourself to be able to stay in the game long term. And if you're focusing on what the best strategy is, what the best system is, you're not gonna be equipped to be in the game long term, because you're focusing on the wrong thing. The touchdown, the goal, you're running the opposite direction. See, if the basketball hoop is that way, you're running that way, running out the sidelines. That's what you're doing when you're focusing on the system. Yes, the system is important. Don't get me wrong, the system is very important. The strategy is very important. But it doesn't mean nothing if you're not in check, if you aren't working. Not the system, you. You as a person, you as a trader, you as a human. You need to be able to work. You need to have the right mindset. You need to be in the right space mentally to be able to function at the highest performance, be able to be as most effective in your trading. People don't realize. So once you start focusing on yourself, focusing on what your negatives and positives, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and trying to improve off them, trying to eliminate your weaknesses and maximize your strength. Once you start doing that, then you can start implementing what you could do for your strategy, because until you have yourself in order, that strategy won't mean nothing. Then with that being said, now you're going to be able to focus on what is going to make your edge higher, because it's easy to have a 50% win rate. It starts to get harder when you're going for that 60% win rate, 70, 80, 90. That's hard. How do you get a good win rate? That's when you start having a good system. You have to have a good edge. And the system, that's with your edges. Once you have yourself in check, you have yourself in order, you have your mindset right, you have the traits that you need to be successful, and you're congruent with everything outside of trading, inside of trading, and just you as a person, now you can start focusing on your system. That's how you're going to be able to get an 80 to 90% win rate, by having a very, very, very good edge that you're able to replicate day in, day out, every single week, every single month. That's what's going to lead you to be successful. That's what's going to lead you to win 80% of the time, 90% of the time. Once you have yourself in order, because if you don't have yourself in order, having the best edge isn't going to be nothing, because you're not going to use it how you're supposed to. You're not going to know how to use it. You're not going to have the experience to understand when to use it, when to let off the gas, when to put on your foot on the brakes. You're not going to understand those things, and that only comes from experience and going through it and putting yourself in the positions to be able to learn, to be able to lose, to be able to win. That's how you win. That's how you learn. That's the only way you're going to win, by learning from the losses. Winning is easy. It's very easy to win. You can do the wrong thing and still win, but I can guarantee you, if you lose doing something, you guarantee did something wrong. You can learn from that. You can't always learn from wins, because you don't necessarily know if what you did is really why it happened. But you can learn from losses all the time, and that's how you're going to be able to grow as a trader, grow as a human, grow as an individual, grow just as a person from the losses. What are a few things that I have found have worked for me in the last 4 years? Not 8, 4 years. So this is what I have found works best for me from the 4 years that I've been trading. I've tried different strategies, different systems, supply and demand, support, resistance, trend lines. I've used indicators, EMAs, SMAs. I've tried it all. But I can guarantee you, these are the two things that I use and I've been using for the last 2 years that I will never stop using. And that's just going to be the understanding of liquidity, understanding of fair value gaps, which is, they're both liquidity at the end of the day. But those are the two ways that I'm getting in and out the market, and those are going to continue to be the only ways I get in and out the market. Now we're going to take this a little bit into the chart so I can actually give you guys a visualization of what I actually mean, because at the end of the day, it's very easy for me to actually say it on the actual charts. So when I say the most important things you want to understand is liquidity, when I say liquidity, that's going to be in the form of old highs and lows and fair value gaps. So like I said, fair value gaps isn't just another form of liquidity. So when I say I want to pay attention to liquidity, I want to pay attention to old highs and old lows. So what specific highs and lows am I going to pay attention to? I don't want to give you guys too much free game in this video, but I am going to give you guys one tip. When you want to pay attention to high probability liquidity, simply pay attention to the previous day's highs and previous day's lows. So if you just pay attention to each column right here, this is just one day. So from here to here is one day. From here to here is one day. So if you look down, we have this low, which was the previous day's low. If we look at this high up here, this is the previous day's high. So what happened within price? When I tell you guys the main reasons I get in and out of trades is due to liquidity, I can either get into those trades from two different ways: price trading into a fair value gap, or price running above or below an old high or low. That's it. Simple as that. Those two things is all you need when you want to get in or out of a trade. I guarantee you, go back into the charts, go back and do all of the back testing you need to. I guarantee you, these are the only two ways you need to get into the market. You can find other reasons, but if you stick with these two, I guarantee you, you will never miss setups. You will never have a lack of setups. You will always have setups. You will always have opportunities. You will always have different opportunities to make money. You will always have a different setup to catch. There's always going to be something when you trade this way. Why? Because this is how the market works. The market targets liquidity. The market moves based off of liquidity. So if you trade based off of liquidity, you're more than likely going to always have a trade depending on what your setup is. And what are the setups? Trading into a fair value gap or trading above or below old high or low. So one example of that would be is right here. We have at 10 a.m. Price ran below the previous day's low, and what happened? We got a big rally. Where did price end up targeting? We ended up going bullish. We didn't run the previous day's high on this specific day, but then what happened? Today, which is Friday, price had a retracement and eventually ran back above to that previous day's high. The entry was based off of previous day's low, and the target was based off of previous day's high. Simple. It may have taken longer than I've expected, but it was very simple idea. The reason I was looking at this trade down here was based off of price running below an old low. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. I'm telling you guys, after years of trading, years of making mistakes, I've overcomplicated my trading for years. For fucking years. Overcomplicated it. Try to have every concept, try to have every different system, try to have every indicator, try to have everything that made sense to be able to get into a trade just to make me feel confident enough to be able to take it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Take a few concepts, take a few things that you like, build off of that. Don't overcomplicate it. Like I said, I only get into the market off of two reasons. Price running above an old high or low, which is the example I just showed you, or price trading into a fair value gap, which is also what I'm about to show you right now. So fair value gaps, I have a lot of videos previously on the channel. You can watch fair value gaps, but if you just to give you guys a little brief explanation, a fair value gap is when you have 3 consecutive candles and the first candle's high and low don't connect with the third candle's high and low. So I didn't draw these as nice as I would want to, but just take this with the idea of like this. There is a gap in between these candles right here. I'm going to make this black, just like this. When there's a gap in between 3 candles just like this, where you have 3 candles going one direction and there's a gap left behind, that is a fair value gap. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth into it. If you want to learn more on that, check out the free course, which is going to be in the description. But with that being said, that is my way that I like to get into the market. I like to get into fair value gaps, which is a form of liquidity at a high probability time. I trade New York sessions, so the high probability time for me will be 9:30 to 10 a.m. So if we look at that, what happened when price was right here at 9 o'clock, which is 9 o'clock, which is, like I said, a high probability time. We look left, what do we see? We see a 1 hour fair value gap. Simple. There doesn't have to be a very complicated reason to get in or out of a trade. I got into this trade this morning and I was able to catch a 1 to 4 based off this trade. I got in the trade based off of price trading into a fair value gap at a high probability time, which is 9:30, and I just did what? I traded with the trend. What is the trend? If you guys want another little quick tip to give you guys, pay attention to the previous day. If the previous day was bullish, the chances of tomorrow being bullish are more likely. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed, it just means it's higher probability. Vice versa, if you have a bearish day. If yesterday was bearish, the chances of tomorrow being bearish are more likely. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, it's just based off of probabilities. So just like this, I got into the trade based off of a 1 hour fair value gap. I traded with the trend. Yesterday was bullish. So what? Today, I ideally would want to see price be bullish, and that is exactly what happened. So I got in at a high probability time, at a high probability area, which is a form of liquidity, which is a fair value gap. I didn't run above old high or low, but I did get into at a fair value gap, which is one of the ways that I love to get in, and one of the ways that I'm only going to get in forever because there's no lack of setups, and it works a lot of the time. And then what happened? Price ran above, and like we said earlier, it went all the way to that previous day's high, which was all the way up here. And that gave me about a 1 to 4 trade today. If you would have risked $10, you would have made 40. If you would have risked 100, you would have made 400. If you would have risked 1,000, you would have made 4,000. The only thing that changes is the lot size at the end of the day, and that's why I love trading. But to bring this to a wrap, I just want you guys to understand that trading isn't going to be easy. The system is important, but you gotta focus on yourself. You, the trader, is more important than any system. If you can focus on becoming the best trader, the most disciplined trader, a trader that listens to themselves, that respects themselves, that has patience, that has confidence in their system, and has data to back it up, I promise you, you're going to be more lethal than anybody with a 99% winning strategy. Because even if you have a 99% winning strategy, when you as a trader fuck up that one time, you're going to ruin it all. But if you have a 60% winning strategy and you're an elite trader that follows the rules every single day, you're going to blow everybody out the water. Because you got to think long term. The person that has a 99% win rate, they may be better today. They may win a trade today while you lose, but think about 6 months, 7 months. Who's going to be on top? I want to be on top in 10 months. I want to be on top in 10 years. I don't want to focus on short term. I'll focus on long term. And by focusing on myself, I can guarantee that will happen. Appreciate everyone for watching this video. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Make sure you check the links in the description if you want to join the VIP trading network where we trade live. You guys get our signals live and you get to trade with us live. Get that one-on-one experience live. Make sure you check the link in the description. The free trading course that'll teach you everything you need to know to get the basics of trading. It's also in the description. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for the next vlog coming up, and we're gonna have a good week. Let's have a good one.